Hi there. You're watching a compilation of the top performing videos on the Healing Insight channel to help you fall asleep peacefully. Please like, comment, and share so that many people can join us.
Tonight, we're exploring the fascinating phenomena of mind over matter. Not as a saying, but as one of the most astonishing frontiers in modern science. This is the story of how thoughts, expectations, and attention can reach deep into the body, influencing pain, perception, performance, healing, and even the way reality itself is experienced. What was once dismissed as imagination is now being measured in brain scans, immune markers, and nerve signals, revealing effects that challenge how we think the human system truly works. Across medicine, psychology, and neuroscience, researchers keep running into the same unsettling truth. The boundary between mind and body is far thinner than we ever thought. These discoveries do not replace biology. They expand it, and in doing so, they raise questions that stretch the limits of what science can fully explain. If you enjoy these gentle journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, there's nothing to do but relax. Let your body soften. Let your breathing slow. Allow your eyes to grow heavy and let your mind unwind as we explore this fascinating world. Let's begin. Your expectations can radically reshape what you perceive. What you expect primes your senses before the world even arrives. Pour identical wine into 2 bottles, and people describe richer flavors from the expensive label. In one classic study, a colored drink changed how sweet it seemed, without changing the recipe. Your brain builds perception by combining incoming signals with prior beliefs and memories. When the guess is strong, it can override the data, producing illusions and mishearings. That is why you can suddenly notice a sound only after someone points it out. It is also why anxiety can make a normal heartbeat feel like a siren. Scientists call this predictive processing, and it turns the mind into an active editor of reality. The thrilling part is that expectations can be trained, so perception can shift with practice over a lifetime. When you change what you anticipate, you change what you notice, and your world can feel newly detailed. A fake pill can change heart rate, breathing, and hormone release. Give someone a medicine they believe is a stimulant, and their pulse may climb. Give the same person a pill they think is a sedative, and breathing can slow. In experiments, even saline injections have shifted blood pressure when framed as powerful medication. Part of this comes from conditioning, like the way your mouth waters before a familiar meal. If your body has learned that clinics mean treatment, it may start preparing early. Hormones can shift, skin can flush, and stomach muscles can tighten, all from that preparation. Researchers call this the meaning response, because context is part of the dose. White coats, pill color, and even price tags can nudge the response up or down. It is a reminder that the nervous system is always listening for cues of threat or care. When those cues suggest help is coming, the body may shift into repair mode before chemistry arrives. The placebo effect can trigger real opioid signals inside the brain. In some pain studies, people given a sugar pill still report relief within minutes. Brain imaging shows the same reward and pain circuits light up as with real drugs. Researchers have even blocked this relief with naloxone, a medicine that stops opioid receptors. That tells us the body can release its own morphine, like chemicals on command. Expectation becomes a signal, traveling from the thinking cortex down to brainstem control centers. Those centers can dampen incoming pain messages before they reach conscious awareness. It is not pretend relief, It is altered neurochemistry. Scientists now study how ritual, trust, and timing amplify this internal pharmacy. The effect is strongest when a person feels cared for, safe, and sure of the plan. Mind over matter begins here, with belief turning into biology you can measure. That discovery has pushed medicine to ask a new question: which parts of healing come from within? Nocebo effects can cause real pain from harmless treatments. A warning can plant symptoms, especially when you expect your body to be fragile. In trials, people told a treatment might cause headaches often report them, even on inert pills. Brain scans show threat networks activating, preparing you to notice discomfort and interpret it as danger. That hyperattention amplifies normal sensations, like a harmless tingle becoming a stabbing alarm. Stress hormones rise and the body can tighten, reducing blood flow and worsening aches. Doctors now choose words carefully, because language is a form of medicine too. Clear honesty still matters, but fear-loaded phrasing can backfire. Some clinics pair side effect discussions with coping plans, so the brain expects support instead of doom. When people feel informed and steady, the same information causes fewer symptoms. This darker mirror of placebo shows mind over matter is not only a gift, it is a lever that can hurt when pulled wrong. The brain can dial pain up or down like a volume knob. Pain is not just a signal from tissues, it is a decision the brain makes. Two people with the same injury can feel wildly different levels of suffering. Deep in the brainstem, a network can turn pain messages down before they reach awareness. That system responds to context, like safety, fear, attention, and social support. Soldiers sometimes report little pain in battle, then hurt intensely once danger passes. The brain is prioritizing survival, and it can postpone suffering to keep you moving. Later, the volume rises, encouraging rest and protection while the body repairs. Therapies like distraction, reassurance, and graded movement use this built-in dial. Understanding this does not mean pain is imaginary. It means the brain is the amplifier that sets the gain for every sensation. When you learn what turns the dial, you gain a new kind of control, even during real injury and long after it. Stress thoughts can raise inflammation, even without an infection. A stressful story in your mind can move the immune system into high alert. Researchers have measured rises in inflammatory markers after exams, arguments, and sleepless nights. Inflammation is useful for fighting germs, but it can also make joints ache and moods darken. The brain talks to immunity through hormones like cortisol and through nerve signals. When threat feels constant, those messages can become chaotic, sometimes leaving the body overreactive. That is one reason chronic stress is linked with slower wound healing. It can also weaken vaccine responses in some studies, as if defenses are misallocated. The hopeful twist is that safety signals, rest, and social connection can calm inflammation. Even brief relaxation practices have been linked with lower inflammatory activity, especially when done consistently over weeks, not just once. Mind over matter shows up here as chemistry, where a calmer mind can help the body stand down again. Focused breathing can shift the vagus nerve within a minute. Your breath is one of the few body systems you can steer directly. When you lengthen the exhale, sensors in the lungs signal the brain to reduce arousal. This shift travels through the vagus nerve, a wandering cable linking brain, heart, and gut. As parasympathetic activity rises, the heart can slow, and heart rate variability can increase. That pattern is often associated with resilience, like a suspension system that absorbs bumps. Singers, divers, and meditators train it differently, but all start with breath control. In labs, paced breathing can reduce blood pressure in some people over time. It can also interrupt spirals of panic by giving the brain a steady rhythm to follow. The surprising part is how fast it works, because nerves respond within a single breath cycle for many people. So each slow exhale becomes a message that says safe enough, and the body listens, almost immediately today. Meditation can thicken brain regions linked to attention and emotion. Meditation is often described as rest, but the brain treats it like training. In long-term practitioners, scans have found thicker cortex in areas tied to attention and self-control. Other studies show changes in networks that manage emotion, helping people recover from stress faster. These shifts reflect neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to remodel with repeated use. Even 8 weeks of structured practice has been linked with measurable differences in some experiments. The changes are not magic. They are like strengthening a muscle you rarely visit. People report noticing thoughts without being dragged around by them. That gap between impulse and action can improve relationships, sleep, and decision-making. Scientists are now mapping which styles work best for different minds, from focused attention to loving kindness, and for different ages. What began as a spiritual practice is becoming a laboratory tool for reshaping the mind's circuitry in ways can track. Hypnosis can alter pain networks, not just mood or belief. Hypnosis can shift pain processing even when the stimulus on the skin stays the same. People under hypnosis may describe pain as distant, dull, or simply unimportant. In imaging studies, activity changes in areas that handle attention and meaning, not only sensation. That suggests the mind can relabel the experience, changing what the brain decides to amplify. Dentists and surgeons have used it as support, especially when anxiety makes pain worse. Not everyone is equally hypnotizable, and it is not mind control. It works best as cooperation, where the listener follows suggestions like a guided simulation. Some researchers compare it to turning down competing thoughts, so one idea can dominate. In that focused state, the brain may recruit its own calming circuits, similar to deep absorption in a movie scene. The bigger lesson is that attention is powerful medicine, shaping pain through the stories we inhabit each day alone. Your body often obeys imagined threats, as if they were real. Your body reacts to imagined danger with the same toolkit it uses for real danger. Think of a job interview, and your palms may sweat before you stand up. Watch a horror film, and your heart can surge as if you must run. The brain's threat detector cannot always tell the difference between a memory, a prediction, and the present. So it triggers adrenaline, shifts blood to muscles, and sharpens attention toward escape. That response can be life-saving, but it can also keep you stuck in chronic tension. People with anxiety often feel exhausted because their bodies are repeatedly preparing for disasters. Therapies like imagery rehearsal and exposure use the imagination in reverse, teaching safety. When the brain learns a feared situation can be survived, the alarm quiets and the body loosens again. Mind over matter is this loop. Thoughts shape physiology, and physiology feeds the next thought you feel. A racing thought can tighten muscles before you notice it. The body often reacts before the mind finishes a sentence. A sudden thought of danger, pressure, or urgency can trigger muscle tightening in the jaw, shoulders, stomach, and hands within fractions of a second. This happens because the brain treats threatening thoughts like early warning signals. Motor pathways receive the message and prepare the body for action, even if no action is required. Many people live with this low-level bracing all day, unaware of it until pain or fatigue appears. Over time, the nervous system can treat tension as the default state. What makes this fascinating is the feedback loop. Tight muscles send danger signals back to the brain, which keeps the thought feeling urgent. When the body softens, the brain often follows. Learning to notice tension early can interrupt this loop before it grows. In this way, awareness becomes leverage, allowing thought and body to stop escalating each other. Slow exhaling can lower carbon dioxide sensitivity and calm panic. Panic often feels like a lack of oxygen, but the real driver is usually carbon dioxide. The brain uses carbon dioxide levels to decide how urgently you need to breathe. When anxiety heightens this sensitivity, even small changes can trigger alarm. Breathing faster may feel helpful, but it lowers carbon dioxide too quickly, causing dizziness and tingling that intensify fear. A slow, steady exhale works differently. It stabilizes breathing rhythm and reassures the brainstem that the body is not in danger. Over repeated practice, the alarm system becomes less reactive. Sensations that once felt threatening begin to feel tolerable. This is not about forcing calm. It is about teaching the nervous system that normal bodily signals are safe. That learning happens gradually, breath by breath. The remarkable part is how quickly the first shift can occur. One long exhale can start changing the message the body sends to the brain, and the brain listens. Biofeedback can teach you to warm a fingertip on purpose. Biofeedback makes invisible processes visible. In thermal biofeedback, a small sensor measures fingertip temperature, which reflects blood flow near the skin. Stress tightens small blood vessels, often cooling the fingers without awareness. When people watch the temperature in real time, they learn which thoughts and sensations cause it to drop or rise. With practice, many can intentionally increase warmth by relaxing muscles and shifting attention. That warmth signals reduced arousal in the nervous system. This method has been explored for stress-related pain and circulation issues because it trains regulation rather than distraction. What feels like imagination becomes measurable change. The real power is learning control through feedback, not guesswork. Once the skill is learned, the sensor is no longer needed. The body remembers the pathway. This shows that some processes labeled automatic are actually trainable. With the right mirror, the mind can learn to guide systems it was never taught it could influence. Athletes improve strength by rehearsing movement without moving. Mental rehearsal activates many of the same brain regions used during physical movement. When athletes vividly imagine a lift or sprint, the brain practices timing, coordination, and sequencing without muscle contraction. This strengthens the neural blueprint that guides movement. Research has shown measurable strength gains from imagery alone, especially when paired with real training. It also helps maintain skill during injury, when physical practice is limited. The benefit comes from clearer communication between brain and muscle, not from muscle growth itself. Elite performers use this to reduce errors under pressure. When the movement finally happens, it feels familiar, almost rehearsed in advance. This reveals that strength is not only about muscle fibers. It is also about how confidently and efficiently the nervous system recruits them. Training the mind sharpens the signal. When the signal improves, the body often follows with surprising precision. Phantom limb pain shows the brain can hurt without tissue damage. After an amputation, many people still feel sensations in the missing limb. Fingers may itch, clench, or burn, despite no physical source. This happens because the brain maintains a body map that does not update instantly. Signals from nearby areas can activate this old map, creating vivid sensations. In some cases, the mismatch between intention and feedback produces pain. This phenomenon demonstrates that pain is not a direct report from tissue. It is an interpretation built by the brain. That insight reshaped pain science. It explains how pain can persist long after healing, and why damage does not always predict suffering. Phantom pain feels real because it is real to the brain. The hopeful implication is that if the brain can generate pain without injury, it may also be guided to release it by updating its internal map. Understanding this changed how clinicians approach chronic pain treatment. Mirror therapy can quiet phantom pain by tricking visual circuits. Mirror therapy uses vision to reshape the brain's body map. A mirror is placed so the reflection of the intact limb appears where the missing limb would be. When the person moves the real limb, the brain sees both limbs moving together. This visual feedback can reduce phantom pain, especially when the missing limb feels stuck or cramped. The brain expects movement commands to be matched with sensory confirmation. When that confirmation appears, even through reflection, the alarm may subside. This simple setup revealed how powerful vision is in shaping bodily experience. It inspired modern virtual reality therapies that create digital limbs controlled by the user. These approaches aim to update the brain's expectations and reduce pain through consistency rather than force. The deeper lesson is that the brain relies on coherence. When sight, intention, and sensation align, suffering often softens. Chronic stress can shrink parts of the hippocampus over time. The hippocampus plays a key role in memory and emotional regulation. Prolonged stress exposes the brain to repeated surges of cortisol, a hormone meant for short-term survival. When exposure is constant, it can interfere with cell growth and neural connections in sensitive regions. Animal studies show reduced branching and fewer new neurons under chronic stress. Human research links long-term stress with differences in hippocampal volume and memory performance. These changes help explain why stress can make thinking feel foggy and memories harder to form. The encouraging part is plasticity. The brain can adapt again when stress eases. Sleep, exercise, therapy, and supportive environments are associated with improved cognitive function. This fact reframes stress as a biological force, not just an emotional state. It also shows why managing stress matters, not only for comfort, but for protecting the brain's ability to learn and remember. Kind social touch can lower cortisol and soften pain responses. Supportive touch can signal safety to the nervous system. In studies of stress and pain, people who receive comforting contact often show lower cortisol levels and reduced pain ratings. The effect depends on trust and consent. When touch feels safe, it can relax muscle guarding and calm threat circuits in the brain. Specialized nerve fibers in the skin respond to slow, reassuring contact and connect to emotional processing centers. This may explain why certain kinds of touch feel deeply settling. In medical settings, simple gestures like hand-holding during procedures have been associated with better tolerance and reduced distress. Touch does not eliminate pain, but it can change how the body interprets it. This demonstrates that human connection is not abstract. It is a physiological signal that can shift chemistry, posture, and perception. The body listens closely to signs that it is not alone. Laughter can release endorphins and raise pain tolerance briefly. Laughter triggers changes throughout the body. Breathing becomes rhythmic, facial muscles relax, and stress hormones may drop. Research links shared laughter with endorphin release, chemicals involved in bonding and pain buffering. In some experiments, people tolerate discomfort longer after laughing together. Attention also shifts outward, away from monitoring the body for threat. That shift alone can reduce how intense sensations feel. The social element matters. Laughing with others signals safety and synchrony, which can relax defensive responses. While laughter is not a treatment for illness, it demonstrates how emotion can influence physical thresholds. It shows that pain is not fixed, but modulated by context, meaning, and connection. Something as ordinary as laughter can briefly change how the nervous system sets its limits. This highlights the brain's built-in capacity to soften experience through shared positive states. A comforting voice can slow a baby's heartbeat and breathing. Infants rely on caregivers to regulate their nervous systems. A familiar voice with steady rhythm and pitch can act as an external regulator. Studies in neonatal care show that soothing speech or recorded parent voices can support steadier breathing and heart rhythms. The baby does not process words, but it responds to patterns that signal safety. This process is called co-regulation, where one nervous system helps guide another toward balance. Over time, repeated experiences of being soothed help the infant develop internal regulation skills. This wiring does not disappear in adulthood. Trusted voices can still calm the body, slow breathing, and reduce stress responses. That is why tone often matters more than content during emotional moments. Across cultures, lullabies exist because sound itself can shape physiology. A voice becomes more than communication. It becomes a biological signal that helps the body settle. Your gut and brain trade messages all day through the vagus. Think of the vagus nerve as a two-way highway between your brain and your organs. It carries signals about fullness, nausea, and information up toward the brainstem. It also carries commands down that can speed digestion or slow it. When you feel safe, digestion tends to run smoothly and blood flow favors the gut. When you feel threatened, the brain can redirect energy away from the belly. That shift can turn appetite off and tighten the stomach without warning. Scientists study how vagus signals influence mood and stress resilience. Some therapies use slow breathing to nudge vagal activity upward. Others explore electrical stimulation for conditions like depression and epilepsy. The astonishing part is how physical feelings become emotions through this channel. Your body's inner state is not silent. It is constantly informing your mind. Stomach butterflies are real because the gut has its own neurons. Your intestines contain a dense web of nerve cells that coordinate digestion locally. This network can sense stretch, irritation, and chemical changes inside the gut. It can also adjust muscle waves that move food along without conscious control. When stress hits, those waves can speed up, stall, or become irregular. That is why fear can feel like fluttering, dropping, or twisting in the belly. These sensations are not metaphors. They are movement and signaling you can physically feel. The gut also releases messengers like serotonin that affect sensation and mood. That does not mean the gut thinks, but it responds with surprising sophistication. Researchers call it a second brain, as a teaching shorthand. The deeper lesson is that emotion has a body address. When your mind shifts meaning, your gut's nerves often react like they heard it directly. Smell can summon childhood memories with startling speed and force. A scent can bring back a scene faster than a photograph ever could. Smell signals travel into brain regions closely tied to emotion and memory. They take a direct route that helps explain the suddenness of the effect. One breath can revive a kitchen, a classroom, or a particular rainy street. The memory often arrives with feeling, not as a neat story. That is because smell is stored alongside context, mood, and body state. Researchers use this to study how memories are reconstructed, not replayed. Smell can also change behavior quietly by shifting appetite or comfort. It can make time feel folded, like years collapse into one moment. Perfume makers and chefs rely on this emotional shortcut every day. The striking part is how personal it is. A molecule in the air can touch a receptor and reopen a whole chapter. Music can synchronize breathing, pulse, and even movement timing. Rhythm invites the body to match it, often without asking permission first. Your breathing can drift toward a song's tempo within a short time. Heart rate can also shift, especially with predictable, steady patterns. This is called entrainment, and it shows up in marching and dance. In rehabilitation, beats can guide steps when timing feels unreliable. Music also shapes emotion, and emotion shapes physiology, so the effects stack together. A fast tempo can raise alertness and tighten posture. A slow lullaby pattern can soften muscles and lengthen exhalation. Even group singing can align breathing across many people at once. The brain treats rhythm as a scaffold for timing across systems. That is why a drummer can steady an entire room. It is not only art, it is organization. Sound becomes structure, and your body willingly moves inside that structure. A steady rhythm can reduce tremor by guiding motor circuits. Tremor often comes from timing problems in circuits that coordinate smooth movement. A steady beat can provide an external clock for the nervous system. When the brain locks onto that clock, commands can become more evenly spaced. Some people walk more steadily when they step to rhythmic sound cues. The beat reduces uncertainty about when to start and when to stop. Therapists use rhythmic auditory stimulation in movement rehabilitation programs. It can help retrain gait timing after stroke or in Parkinson's care. The improvement is not magic, it is better synchronization across motor loops. Even tapping to a metronome can refine coordination in simple tasks. Researchers love this because it reveals movement as prediction plus correction. A stable rhythm supplies the prediction, so the brain can correct less. A surprising part is how small the cue can be. A simple pulse can influence deep motor systems that feel out of reach. The brain predicts sensations, then edits reality to match guesses. Your brain does not wait for the world. It prepares a draft of it. It predicts what you will feel based on past experience and current context. Incoming signals are compared to that draft in fractions of a second. When the match is close, the brain fills in details and you feel continuity. When the match is off, you feel surprise and the model updates. This helps explain why you can mishear lyrics until you learn them. It also explains why expectation can change taste, touch, and even pain. Attention acts like a spotlight that tells the brain which signals matter most. What you attend to becomes louder in the final experience. This is powerful, but it can also mislead, producing illusions and mistaken certainty. Scientists call this predictive processing, and it reframes perception as construction. Reality is still real, but your experience is a best fit built in real time. Change the prediction, and the experience can change with it. Motion sickness happens when the brain rejects conflicting sensory stories. Your inner ear reports acceleration using fluid motion and tiny sensors. Your eyes report motion through the flow of scenery and visual reference points. Your muscles and joints report pressure and balance through the body's posture signals. When those streams disagree, the brain struggles to choose one consistent story. On a boat, the ear feels rolling while the eyes may see a still cabin. In a car, the eyes may focus on a book while the ear feels turns. The brain treats this mismatch as a serious warning sign. One theory links it to poisoning because toxins can disrupt perception in confusing ways. The body responds with nausea as a protective reflex, even when no toxin exists. That is why motion sickness can feel sudden and overpowering. Looking at the horizon often helps because it reconciles the story. The deeper point is that coherence matters to the nervous system. When perception cannot agree, the stomach is often the first to protest. Optical illusions reveal perception's depth from context. Colors can look different because the brain compares them to nearby tones. Motion can seem present because the brain expects movement from certain patterns. Scientists study illusions because they expose the rules perception uses. They are like a window into the brain's private assumptions. Illusions also teach humility because confidence does not guarantee accuracy. Your brain can feel certain and still be wrong. Once you learn that, everyday seeing becomes more mysterious. You are not receiving raw reality, you are receiving an interpretation. That interpretation is brilliant, fast, and sometimes fooled on purpose. Illusions show the mind constructing what the eyes deliver. Your skin can feel pain less when you feel in control. The nervous system treats control as a safety signal, and safety changes pain. When you can predict a sensation, the brain often reduces its threat value. When you can stop it, the brain may turn the alarm down further. In experiments, the same stimulus is tolerated better when people choose it. When it feels imposed, the brain can amplify pain to push you away. This is not weakness. It is protective biology working as designed. Control also reduces helplessness, which lowers stress chemistry in the background. That calmer state can reduce muscle guarding that otherwise increases discomfort. Clinicians use this by explaining procedures clearly and offering choices when possible. Even small choices, like when to start, can matter. The fascinating part is how meaning enters the pain system. Nerves in the skin send signals, but the brain decides urgency. Agency tells the brain, "I can handle this," and the experience often shifts. In Mind Over Matter, control is not a slogan. It is a neural setting. Fear can narrow vision, literally shrinking your useful field of view. Fear can push attention into a tunnel, aimed straight at the perceived threat. Peripheral details become harder to notice, even when the eyes are open. This can make the world feel smaller and more urgent in seconds. The body is preparing for action, and broad scanning becomes less important. In real danger, that focus can help you react quickly. In modern stress, it can backfire during meetings, crowds, or anxious thoughts. Researchers link this effect to arousal systems that change sensory processing priorities. Eye movements can become stickier, so the gaze is harder to shift. People may later be shocked by what they missed in plain sight. When fear eases, vision often feels wider again, like a room expanding. This is mind over matter in a concrete form. Emotion changes perception, and perception changes decisions. A narrowed view can narrow options, making escape feel like the only plan. Widen attention, and choices can return. High anxiety can make harmless sensations feel urgent and dangerous. An anxious mind turns the body into a surveillance zone, where every sensation is scanned for meaning. A mild flutter, a warm face, or a shallow breath can suddenly feel important, even threatening. Attention locks onto the sensation, and that focus amplifies it, making it feel stronger and more persistent. The brain then searches for an explanation, often landing on danger, which further activates the stress response. Hormones rise, muscles tighten, and breathing shifts, creating even more sensations to monitor. This loop can build quickly, not because something is wrong, but because interpretation keeps feeding physiology. Many panic episodes begin this way, with a normal bodily signal misread as an emergency. Learning that urgency does not equal danger can loosen the cycle. When sensations are allowed without interrogation, they often fade on their own, and the nervous system gradually stands down. Naming a feeling can calm the amygdala in measurable ways. When emotion surges without words, the brain's along center can stay active longer than necessary. The amygdala reacts fast and broadly, preparing the body before explanation arrives. Putting a clear label on what you feel recruits brain regions involved in language and regulation. Those regions help organize the experience, reducing the sense of chaos. Brain imaging studies show that this simple act can lower amygdala activity, even while the emotion remains present. The feeling does not disappear, but it becomes less overwhelming and easier to manage. Naming also creates a small pause, a moment of observation instead of reaction. That pause can be enough to change what happens next. Children use this skill when guided, and adults can relearn it during stress. A short phrase can turn raw sensation into information, giving the nervous system a clearer map and a gentler response. Reframing stress as helpful can improve performance under pressure. Stress brings a surge of energy, meant to prepare the body for challenge. Heart rate rises, attention sharpens, and the brain prioritizes speed. When this response is labeled as harmful, performance often suffers, because worry competes with focus. When the same sensations are interpreted as readiness, the body's preparation can be used instead of fought. Research shows that people taught to reframe stress often perform better in demanding situations, even though their physiology looks similar. Athletes, speakers, and performers use this shift by treating nerves as a sign that the body is awake and prepared. The discomfort remains, but its meaning changes. Meaning matters because the brain uses it to decide whether to escalate or stabilize. By choosing a story that frames stress as support, the mind guides the body toward effectiveness rather than shutdown, turning pressure into a resource. A single deep sigh can reset breathing patterns and tension. A physiological sigh combines two quick inhales with a long, slow exhale. This pattern helps reopen tiny air spaces in the lungs that can collapse during shallow breathing. The extended exhale activates calming pathways that lower nervous system arousal. Muscles often soften as the brain receives a signal that urgency has passed. Many people sigh naturally after stress, as if the body is pressing a reset button. Using it intentionally can interrupt rising panic before it takes hold. The breath also stabilizes carbon dioxide levels, which can reduce feelings of air hunger or dizziness. That combination makes the sigh especially effective during moments of overwhelm. It does not require concentration or belief to work. Because breathing connects directly to brainstem regulation, one well-timed sigh can change the body's rhythm quickly, and the mind often settles as that rhythm slows. Blushing is a mind-driven blood flow change you cannot hide. Blushing occurs when blood vessels in the face widen rapidly in response to social emotion. The trigger is often attention, as if being seen becomes a physical event. Heat rises in the cheeks, ears, or neck, sometimes within seconds. People try to suppress it, yet the response bypasses conscious control entirely. Some researchers suggest blushing signals awareness of social norms, showing others that you recognize a misstep. That makes it a rare emotion that writes itself directly onto the skin. Even imagining an awkward moment can sometimes bring on the same flush. The body is responding to meaning rather than temperature, which is what makes it so striking. Thoughts about reputation, belonging, and judgment are translated into circulation changes in real time. Blushing reminds us that social emotions are not abstract. They move blood, change color, and announce themselves without asking permission. Embarrassment can heat the face by opening tiny blood vessels. The skin of the face contains dense networks of small blood vessels that respond quickly to nerve signals. During embarrassment, autonomic commands increase blood flow across the cheeks and ears. Warmth appears because more blood reaches the surface in a short time. This often happens before you can fully name what you are feeling. That speed shows how quickly social evaluation becomes physical experience. Some people blush easily, while others rarely do. But the underlying mechanism is shared. Trying to hide embarrassment can intensify it, because attention stays locked on the reaction. In group settings, blushing can invite understanding by signaling concern for social rules. A subtle vascular change becomes a visible message. Emotion turns into physiology, and physiology becomes communication. Embarrassment may feel uncomfortable, but it reveals how deeply the body is tuned to social meaning and how quickly it responds. The startle reflex proves thought is not required for action. A sudden sound can make your body jump before you recognize what happened. This reaction travels through fast brainstem pathways designed for immediate protection. Eyes blink, shoulders rise, and muscles brace in a fraction of a second. Conscious awareness arrives later, asking questions after the movement is already complete. This shows that action can precede thought rather than follow it. The reflex favors speed over accuracy because hesitation once carried real risk. Even harmless noises can trigger it because the system is built to err on the side of caution. Startle responses are stronger in anxious states, revealing how sensitivity is tuned by context. Researchers study this reflex to understand fear and vigilance. It is a vivid reminder that much of behavior is managed below awareness. The thinking mind often narrates events after the body has already acted. Your heartbeat can shape how strongly you feel fear. Each heartbeat sends signals to the brain about the body's internal state. During emotional moments, those signals blend with what you are seeing and hearing. Research suggests that fear cues can feel more intense during certain phases of the heartbeat. The brain is combining outside information with inside timing, creating a single experience. A racing heart can make danger feel closer, even when nothing has changed externally. This helps explain why anxiety can spike after caffeine, illness, or poor sleep. When heart rhythm steadies, emotions often feel less sharp and less urgent. Breathing practices influence fear partly by changing cardiac rhythm. This internal sensing is called interoception, the perception of the body from within. Feelings are not just thoughts about the world. They are built from perception plus pulse, and the pulse is always contributing to the story. People misread their own emotions when their pulse is altered. The brain often uses bodily signals as clues when deciding what you feel. When the heart speeds up, the mind may assume excitement or fear is present. In experiments, people judge situations as more intense when their pulse is elevated. They are not mistaken on purpose. Their interpretation is being shaped by internal feedback. This helps explain why anxiety can feel convincing when the body is activated. It also explains why calming the body can clarify emotional understanding. Similar misreadings can happen after exercise, fever, or strong caffeine intake. The body shifts first, and the mind supplies a matching explanation. Learning this can reduce panic, because a fast pulse does not automatically mean danger. Sometimes it is simply physiology doing its job. When the pulse settles, the emotional story often changes with it. Hunger can make neutral faces look angrier than they are. When energy runs low, the brain becomes more sensitive to threat and frustration. This shift can bias perception, making neutral expressions appear hostile or dismissive. It is not just mood, it is a change in interpretation. Researchers call this misattribution, when internal state colors how the outside world is read. Hunger also reduces patience, preparing the mind for conflict more quickly. A simple glance can feel personal when the body is depleted. Once nourishment arrives, the same face can look ordinary again. This effect shows that perception is not fixed. It depends on the body's current needs. Social reality shifts with physiology, often without awareness. The lesson is practical and humbling. Sometimes what feels like an unfriendly world is a hungry brain asking for fuel. Feed the body, and the world often softens in response. Sleep loss amplifies pain signals and weakens emotional brakes. After a short night, the world can feel sharper at the edges, and the body often feels it first. Pain signals that might have been tolerable can become louder, more insistent, and harder to ignore. Part of this is chemistry, because sleep helps regulate inflammatory pathways and the brain's natural pain dampening systems. Another part is emotional control, because tired brains have less patience for discomfort and fewer resources to reframe it. That can turn a small ache into a bigger experience and a minor stressor into a heavy weight. Researchers also find that poor sleep makes negative feelings stickier, so frustration and worry linger longer. It becomes a double hit where pain rises and coping drops. The encouraging twist is that restoring sleep can restore resilience. One solid night does not erase everything, but it can noticeably change how the same body feels the next day. Placebo sleep can improve alertness even when sleep was unchanged. In some experiments, people are told they slept wonderfully, even when measurements show an ordinary night. Amazingly, many report feeling sharper, calmer, and more awake the next morning. Their performance can improve too, as if belief unlocked a better version of the same brain. This effect highlights how expectations shape attention and effort. If you think you are rested, you may stop scanning for fatigue and start acting capable, which changes how the day unfolds. Confidence can reduce the mental drag of self-monitoring, leaving more bandwidth for memory and focus. It does not mean sleep is optional. The body still needs real recovery. But it shows that the experience of tiredness is partly a story the brain tells about signals. When that story shifts, behavior shifts, and the brain may follow its own lead. It is a striking example of mind over matter, where belief does not create energy from nothing, but it can change how fully you access the energy you have. Dreams can rehearse threats, building calmer reactions when awake. Dreams often look strange, yet many carry a familiar emotional shape: being chased, being late, losing something important. One idea in sleep science is that dreaming lets the brain practice danger in a safe environment. It is like a nightly simulator where fear and problem-solving can run without real consequences. During certain sleep stages, the brain replays and reorganizes memory, mixing old experiences with new lessons. That process may help you recognize patterns and respond more smoothly in waking life. Some people notice that worries feel less sharp after sleep, as if the mind has quietly digested them. Nightmares can be the painful side of this rehearsal, especially after trauma, when the brain keeps returning to the same alarm. Yet even then, therapies that reshape the dream story can reduce distress over time. The deeper wonder is that while you lie still, your brain may be training for tomorrow, practicing emotional moves in the dark. Lucid dreamers can signal awareness using planned eye movements. Lucid dreaming is the rare moment when you realize you are dreaming while the dream continues. Researchers found a clever way to verify it without waking the dreamer. During certain sleep stages, the body's muscles are mostly inhibited, but the eyes can still move. So lucid dreamers agree on a simple code, like sweeping their eyes left and right in a specific pattern once they become aware. In sleep labs, those eye signals show up clearly on recordings, arriving from inside the dream. It is a breathtaking bridge between two worlds, a sleeping brain sending a deliberate message to waking scientists. This also suggests that parts of the mind responsible for self-awareness can switch on during sleep. People use lucid dreaming to explore creativity, reduce recurring nightmares, or practice skills in vivid imagery. The key is not fantasy, it is evidence that consciousness has levels and modes. For a moment, you can be both actor and observer in your own nighttime theater. Imagining a smell can activate parts of the smell cortex. Close your eyes and picture fresh coffee, and you may notice your mouth react before you move. Many people can summon a scent so vividly that it feels almost present. Brain studies suggest that imagining smells can activate some of the same regions involved in real smelling. The signal is usually weaker than a true odor, but it is still a meaningful echo. This is part of why memory can feel physical. The brain stores sensory experiences in networks that can be reawakened by thought. Perfumers and chefs often train this ability, building an inner library of aromas they can manipulate mentally. It also helps explain cravings, because imagining a food can start preparing the body for it. The fascinating point is that perception is not only incoming. The brain can generate sensory-like states from the inside, using memory as raw material. When you understand that, imagination becomes less like pretending and more like controlled activation of real neural pathways. Visualizing bright light can shrink pupils slightly in some people. Pupils usually respond to actual light, widening in darkness and narrowing in brightness. Yet in some studies, imagining a bright scene can produce a subtle pupil response, as if the brain is preparing the eyes for what it expects. The change is small, but it is meaningful, because it suggests that mental imagery reaches into the body's automatic systems. Your brain is not only describing light, it is simulating its consequences. This fits with the broader idea that imagination is a kind of internal perception, built from sensory memories and predictions. People with strong visual imagery often show stronger effects, while others have weaker or none. Either way, the phenomenon points to a mind that can influence reflex-like responses. It also shows why visualization can feel intense, because the body partly believes the scene. When you picture sunlight reflecting off snow or a bright phone screen in a dark room, your nervous system may adjust as if the brightness is almost real. Athletes can lower oxygen cost by practicing slow nasal breathing. Many athletes train not just muscles, but breathing efficiency. Nasal breathing adds resistance, which can encourage slower, deeper breaths and steadier carbon dioxide levels. Over time, that can reduce the sensation of breathlessness at a given workload, making effort feel more sustainable. The nose also warms and humidifies air, which can be helpful in cold or dry conditions. Some training approaches use nasal breathing to keep intensity controlled, forcing the athlete to stay below a frantic pace. The result can be a calmer rhythm that improves endurance and recovery between bursts. This is not a shortcut that replaces conditioning, but it can change how the body manages fuel and stress. The mind over matter angle is that technique shapes physiology. By choosing a breathing style and sticking with it, athletes can nudge the nervous system towards steadier control. A small change at the entrance of the airway can ripple into heart rate, focus, and perceived exertion. Breath training can increase tolerance to carbon dioxide buildup. Carbon dioxide is not just waste, it is a powerful signal that drives the urge to breathe. Many people assume they need more oxygen when they feel air hunger, but often the discomfort is linked to carbon dioxide rising. Breath training can gradually make that signal less alarming. Practices that include slow breathing, controlled breath holds, or paced exhalations teach the brain that rising carbon dioxide can be tolerated safely. Over time, the urge to gasp may soften, and breathing becomes smoother under stress. This is one reason breath training appears in freediving, singing, and some anxiety treatments. The fascinating part is that you are not training lungs as much as you are training interpretation. The body still tracks carbon dioxide, but the brain's alarm threshold can shift. That change can be surprisingly empowering because it reduces the fear that often accompanies breath sensations. When the alarm is quieter, you can stay calm longer, and calm itself improves breathing further. Cold exposure feels less intense when attention is carefully guided. Cold can be a shock, and the first instinct is to tense, gasp, and resist. Yet people who train in cold water often describe a different experience over time, not because the water changed, but because their relationship to the sensation changed. Attention can be directed towards steady breathing, relaxed shoulders, or the boundaries of sensation, rather than a story of suffering. This alters the emotional layer of cold, which can change how intense it feels. The brain learns that cold is not automatically danger, and it stops amplifying the signal as urgently. Some of this is adaptation in the body, but some is training in perception. You can hear it in the way experienced swimmers talk. They notice the cold, then they settle, then the body stops shouting. This matters because distress magnifies sensation. When you reduce distress, you reduce the volume of the experience. It is a vivid demonstration that attention is not passive. It shapes what the body feels like from the inside. Pain often fades faster when you focus on a meaningful goal. Pain demands attention, but attention can be redirected by purpose. In challenging situations, people often report that discomfort becomes more tolerable when they are moving towards something that matters to them. A runner chasing a finish line, a parent lifting a child, a climber reaching a safe ledge. The body can keep going even with strong signals. The brain weighs cost against value, and value can change the final experience. Meaning does not erase injury, but it can change how urgent the pain feels and how much it dominates awareness. This is one reason motivation affects rehabilitation outcomes. When a person connects movement to a clear purpose, practice becomes easier to sustain, and the nervous system can become less protective over time. Purpose also reduces rumination, which is a known amplifier of suffering. When the mind is anchored to a goal, there is less room for pain to expand into the whole world. In mind over matter, meaning is not differation. It is a lever that can change perception. The placebo effect can be stronger when treatment looks dramatic. A treatment that seems intense can make the brain treat it as a major turning point. When there is a machine, a procedure, a strict schedule, or a careful ritual, expectations often rise. Higher expectations can change attention so symptoms stop being watched like threats. The body may relax its defensive stance, and pain can feel less urgent. Some studies find that sham procedures can outperform inert pills because the ceremony feels more convincing. This does not mean spectacle is the goal, and it should never be used to mislead. It means the nervous system responds to meaning and to effort. A clear explanation, a confident plan, and a sense of care can strengthen that meaning without exaggeration. In a very real way, the environment becomes part of the treatment. The mind hears the drama and the body prepares to cooperate. A doctor's confidence can change outcomes through expectation alone. When someone you trust speaks with steady certainty, your nervous system often settles before anything else happens. That calm can reduce muscle guarding and ease the stress response that amplifies discomfort. Confidence also shapes what you expect to feel next, and expectation steers attention. If you expect worsening, you scan for danger. If you expect a clear plan, you notice progress and you recover focus. Research on clinical encounters often links warmth and clarity with better patient experiences, including lower distress during procedures. This effect is not about charm, and it is not about pretending everything is simple. It is about safety signals, a calm voice, a clear timeline, and a sense of partnership can change how the body prepares for what follows. Even small shifts in fear can change breathing, digestion, and pain sensitivity. Trust becomes a real ingredient in the biology of healing. Open-labeled placebos can